Alright, we are live. Alright, so the plan for today is, as the stream title suggests, we're going to be making pure ingots, specifically pure iron at the moment. We're probably going to do pure copper shortly after. But there are a couple steps we need to do before that. So the problem with making pure ingots at the moment is they use water. And so a couple problems with that. First of all, if you look at the terrain around here, you know, it's sort of a bit of a desert. So we're going to need to import water. And secondly, the factory, the city up here, is not built to handle fluids. It is built to handle solid objects. Because it relies on trucks and carts, which transport solid objects, not fluids. Now, fortunately, you can simply package the fluids, make them solid, and then transport them via truck. So it's not a huge problem. However, in order to do that, you need canisters, which we do not have. So, that's what we're going to be doing now, is we're going to be setting up a blueprint to make canisters. But actually, before we do that, we need to make our way over here to the MAM, where we've been doing some hard drive research. And we have two options. We have coated iron canisters, and we have steel canisters. Now, steel canisters would be great if I had steel, but I haven't brought coal onto the foundation, so I don't have that. So let's go with coated iron, because I have both iron and copper. So we select that. And now we can head on over to the blueprint to figure out exactly how much quantities we're going to need. So we load up the basic box blueprint, which I use for pretty much everything. If we have an assembler here, and we find coated iron canisters, it's 30 iron plates, 15 copper sheets. So 30 iron plates is 2 of these, and it's going to be 45 iron ingots, which is 2 of these. So we have 2 of these feeding into 2 of these, feeding into that will give us our iron. Although we can make iron alloy ingots potentially, since we are bringing in copper anyway, but that would probably just make things more complicated, and we would still need 2 constructors anyway. So do we have any convenient ways of making iron plates? No. How about... where's the door? Let me out. I need to check if we have any potential MAM alternate recipes that we just haven't selected yet. And that also goes for copper sheet related things as well. So we have steel cast plates, which would just make things more complicated. I'm not doing that. We have no other recipes for plates, and I do not see any recipes for copper either. Alright, so we're just going to stick with what we have then. So, to recap, we need 2 smelters, 2 constructors, and then feed into the assembler. Now, for the copper, we need 15 copper sheets, which is 2 constructors, 1 smelter, I believe. Copper is also 30 to 30. Yes. So we need a total of 4 constructors and 3 smelters. Alright, that should be manageable. Let's get up to the second floor, which is where we start things nowadays. And we bust out the wall. Although, actually, I still need that. I still need a door. That can be the conveyors. So we need a splitter. Don't want to use up too much space. Nice and close. And then we have the two smelters it feeds into. Which, that can be a straight belt. Why not? It looks better. So we have 30. And we have 15. Actually, let's make them balanced. May as well. 22.5 each. And that will make us our 45 iron ingots. And these can't be that close to the back, because we need a merger in. And it's probably not going to quite line up like that exactly. Maybe it will. So this will make the plates, and these do balance perfectly, which is very convenient. They're just the wrong size. They're too wide. But it fits in anyway. So if you make these two 15 each, then that fits in with no need for a splitter or anything, or merger rather. Alright, so now we can take our 30 iron plates and merge them up. And we also have 2 copper sheet constructors, which will fit in here, hopefully. Not quite, it seems. So we're going to have to get a little bit creative. So if we have space for a merger there, and then our constructors there, or not there, there would have to be like there. We need room for inputting into them, and also for the smelter. So let's see, where can we just squeeze this smelter in? How about like there? And then that can output to 2 constructors squeezed in like literally anywhere on this basic side. So how about if we have like there, and then somewhere really creative like there? And then that can split between the 2 of them. And copper sheets, 7.5. Copper sheets, 7.5. now we just need to merge these two up and then put it through the floor. We need to put this through the floor as well. So let's just get that in somewhere like there. Alright, so if we fit a merger in... So the trick is that it needs both to have access to it. Okay, this is a good idea. Let's try... If we have it here facing that way, then this one can loop around there, and then in, and then this one can obviously just go directly from right in front of it to there. And then we have some room in here for a conveyor lift, and boom. And we have room over here for an output as well. So let's have that wall in. Let's make that default to save some space. Put that in, that there, and that there. So now we just take these two, feed them into the smelter, and then feed the smelter into the third one by the corner, and then we are good to go. Or not smelter, assembler, obviously. Alright, so then that comes down there, that comes down there, that goes in, that goes in. Call this coated iron canisters. And it makes 60 a minute, which is a good solid amount. Realistically, we don't need this to be running permanently even. Like, we're going to be recycling canisters whenever possible. So this just needs to keep up, like, with... This basically just needs to saturate the whole thing and then be good. Alright. So with that in mind, let's actually do something which I haven't done before and find a power switch. So we need to unlock power switches. No. They're under Caterium. And I need steel beams and AI limiters. And we researched those. Very cool.
Power switch unlocked. Fixit is proud to announce that the power switch facilitates power grid management through the application of the very latest advances in on-off switch technology. Fixit. It's fun to have power.
Alright, so we can put the power switch somewhere. And then feed that into there. So now when we set this up, we can simply attach to the power switch, and then whenever we want to turn this on or off, we can just flip the power switch, flip the power for this entire area. And that will be easy. Please be a power pole Mark II so that I can hook you up to everything. Hopefully a power pole. It's not going to be enough to hook up to everything anyway. Let's get a second one in. Alright. Everything's hooked up. And this is canisters, and it's what, 45 iron, 30 copper. Canister. There's 45 iron, 30 copper, to 60 canisters. Save and clear that. Now I just need to set it actually set it up. Hook it into the transport systems and everything. It can be over here right in front of the copper setup. Okay, floor tile blueprint. And I believe that lines up there. And we need some of those. And some of those. And then we need more floor tiles. Please. Please just line up properly. It really has to be quite precise in order to work. Alright. Get another one of these in. And it lines up like that. And then this one lines up like that, please. Alright, let me put the last little alleyway in there. And now we have to extend the road to cover this whole area now. So up we go. I need to fit in this road as well. Alright, so we have this. We need 2 truck stops. Set to blueprint build mode. How's factory still square? Yep, still pretty square. We are doing a couple things in advance of setting up pure iron ingot production, which will let us actually build the heavy modular frame factory. So currently we are making canisters so that we can transport water around the factory in the trucks and stuff. Alright, so then we put this in, and we are missing concrete. So yeah, in order to make pure iron, you need water, and in order to transport water on factory carts and tractors and trucks, you need to package it first, which means you need a steady supply of canisters, which is what we're doing now. And we need concrete. Where is the concrete? There it is. Grab a bunch of stacks of that. Then make our way back up. And hope I didn't run out of anything else as well. Yes, it does need to be unpackaged before being put into a machine, which I don't think will be a problem for our refineries, but it is a bit of a cost to the way we're doing this whole thing. Alright, so we put that in there. And now we have to remember that the left one is copper, the right one is iron. Although I guess it doesn't matter right now because we just have these two. So let's lift these up to, I don't know, approximately there maybe. goes in. Then we lift this one up. That height seems to work well, so somewhere around the same. Got a little bit too high on that one, but that's fine. Okay, so now we have the inputs hooked up. We take the output and it can come down along there. And then into one of these. And now we just have to hook the power up and drive the carts over. And it should be carts. We don't need a huge amount for this. Where's the power pole? There it is. There that is. And then we just take this into that. Turn the switch on. So these should all be hooked up to the grid. Looks like they are. Alright, so now we need to make sure not to mess this up. So this left one feeds directly into the smelter. So this is the copper, which means this outside one is the copper, which is right over there. Oh, also I need to craft some more of the little guys, which are equipment for some reason. So let's make some factory carts. We're gonna need 2 of them for this. Alright, so this is the copper. Right? Yes. This one is the copper. Have to make sure not to mess this up or we'll feed the wrong thing into the wrong inputs and it'll be a disaster. Alright, so we enter the factory cart. Start recording. We load. Oh, we crash real quick. Don't worry about that. Then we come over here to the copper and realize I've made a horrible mistake when setting this up. Alright, delete that. We need to actually put the roads around here so that we can navigate this area. Alright. We've put roads around that. Now let's try this again. Plop down a factory cart. Get in. Start recording. It's done that again. I don't know why it does that. Delete that path. Start recording. Activate that. Then come around the edges. And pick up some cargo. Then come around the edges again. And do that. Now we are going to need to delete some of these extra places where it stopped and I didn't want it to. Like there. And that's the only one. Alright, so we save this as copper to canisters. And we enable autopilot. And set that to unload. And now we drive you around a bit until you actually bother starting. Alright, so there you go. And then this one is iron to canisters. I think in order to prevent any traffic jams, this has to be going this way. So, open record, start recording, activate that, then we come around this way to the iron, and don't crash into another factory car, that's important. And see, I think for this one we'll go around and get the other side, just to distribute the load between the two truck stops. And hello? Well, that's awkward. But we've done it. Now we come around here, back to the factory. And we loop around. Loop around here, make sure not to trigger any of those, which we're going to have to probably fix. And there. Alright. Right, don't save the path yet, because we need to edit it first. Also, I seem to have clipped through the wall. That's fun. Okay, don't stop there. Probably going to have to check to make sure I didn't hit any of these ones along the way either. So didn't hit any of those. I did hit this one. We'll delete that. And now we make it back. And this is the guy. We enter here. We save the path, which is iron to canisters. We enable autopilot. And we get you going. Alright. I don't know why these guys do not start. Alright. He's off. And I forgot to turn the path off. Let me get over there. Hide path nodes. Alright. So that should be canisters all set up. Although I'll probably want to grab some for... Nah, I probably don't need them for personal use. I might, though. Should I branch some off to a dimensional storage? Yeah, I think I will. Alright, let's put a floor up here. And let's plop down our storage container. And we don't have sand fluctuators. That's fine, it's probably not a big deal. I don't expect to actually use them that much. Is this working? Yes, it is. Is this working? Did I not set this to... Which one is it? This one is set to load. So that one needs to be set to unload. Of course. It's kind of annoying you can't just choose which one to do at the station itself. But when the next one comes around, then that'll be that. Alright, so we have probably a supply of canisters. The next thing we need to do is worry about water. So we need to package the water, and I think we bring the water here and package it on site. So let's load up a good old fancy shell. And actually, we need to buy something at the shop. We need to buy fluid wall holes, which hopefully will fit on the side. Are they in management? Yes. Let's buy those. Oh, I didn't check out first.
Go for that extra purchase. Go awesome.
Yeah, well, you can always hope. So let's see here. It should be in logistics, pipeline wall hole, partially overlapping blueprint designer. Rats. Okay. That's inconvenient. So then, that's fine. We'll just make a pipeline wall hole ourselves. Bam, pipeline wall hole constructed. I'm a genius. All right. So we have that. We have so this is going to be like not in the factory proper. It's going to be just outside, right? Because we're dealing with fluids and we're packaging them up before putting them in the truck stops to be in the factory. So it doesn't really matter that this is on ground level. So let's get some packagers in. These are quite fast, right? Yeah, 60 a minute. Blistering. So I really only need... Okay, I actually need a fair amount of these. So let's just set up so that this can handle a Mark 1 pipe. 60, 120, 180. And then another 2 back here. I don't know if this will fit, if there's enough room back here. There's not, but it's close. Alright, so let's get the mergers in. So that's enough room for merger, which means we can place a packager. As long as it doesn't overlap with the merger, then we're fine. So something like that. But that's not going to leave enough room for that. Alright, we need to actually... Let's put in splitters. So let's... I don't know, I guess we'll make a conveyor wall for that. We put in a splitter. Does this fit between that and that? No. Alright, so we need to fit 5 packagers in. We have 2 floors, so realistically I shouldn't be working this hard to save on space when I can just use the second floor. So we'll just put 3 packagers down. We need the splitter input. We need this to... I guess this being the input wall would make that work better. There's no reason this has to be the input wall. And then that can be that. Multi-purpose wall designs could be cool, like 1 conveyor wall hole, 1 fluid hole built in. Yeah, that would be pretty neat. That would be pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure they don't exist. Alright, so then we bring the pipe along here. And pipeline junctions. Right, this is all lined up like that. 2, 3. Those feed into that. And then we put the rest of these splitters in. We belt that along. Put those in. Alright, so that is 180 packaged water basically sorted. As long as we put a junction there. And run this along in front of this giant gaping hole in the wall. Actually, that's good enough. This is going to be kind of scuffed because we don't have the... Since we don't have useful wall holes anyway, we may as well just make it like this. Alright, so we have that, and then these output packaged water. Did I configure them all? I did now. So these output packaged water, and they merge up. And we're going to need to make these faster belts. So we need Mark IV belts for like the first 2. Because it's 60 per, and we were doing 300. So after this first one, it would already be down to 240 actually. So this can be 270. Alright, so then we have that. We just need to bring all of this up. Just need to bring all of this up to the second floor to finish it off. So there's a hole for that. Which that. So that's fast enough for that. And then we take this belt and bring it up to the second floor. And then the second floor just has to handle 2 packagers. And honestly, I will be surprised if this works 100% efficiency, because fluids are fluids. But we can hope. So let's get a packager and a second packager. And we also need to get the water up there. That's obviously important. So, do we have... I didn't get pipeline floor holes. I should go and buy those. I kind of assumed I already had them, but I guess obviously I don't. Let's hop over there. There you are. 1 ticket and buy. Alright, so now we have these, which can go... I guess we need like a somewhat empty spot to grab it off of. Like this is going to be for the input. I guess we can drag this along like there. And ooh, we can have that actually. that works out nicely. So then the bottom one can be the input, the top one can be where the floor hole goes. And there's that. Probably going to need to fit a pump in. And it doesn't fit anywhere useful along that. Alright. We need to... How do we even deal with that? I guess we could just put the pump like there, and then have this be only for the input, and then have the output like here, and then that would see the pump. Should put that and that into the fluids hotbar. Alright, so the pump still sees that, so that should be fine. Now we can go up to the second floor and start actually firing up these packagers. This isn't the real one. Alright, so we have that. We have splitter, we have splitter. So that is all of those belted up. Then we set them to package water. And we bring the water up, awkwardly twisted around like that. And then like that. And boom. Done. Now we just need to hook all of these outputs up and output them somewhere. So we have a merger there, which merges up that, and that, and that, which I think has to be 4 at this point. I'm not sure. But then we can take it to an output, like there, I guess. And now we just hook all of these up to power poles. And we have a water packager, which also can just be very easily repurposed for packaging and unpackaging just about anything. And the only downside is this giant gaping hole because wall holes don't work properly. Alright, so those are all hooked up. So now we can call this water packager, and it takes 300 canisters, 300 water to 300 packaged water. And we save that blueprint, and we clear it. And now we just have to set up the trains to bring the water in, and all the rest of that infrastructure, which will take a bit of work. Hopefully I'll only have to do it once, maybe twice if I end up using a huge amount of water, which probably will eventually. So we head all the way down over here. Let's check. This is outputting packages. Cool. You know, I think actually I might want an industrial storage container just so that this buffers more. Because as it is, it's kind of gonna be a bit wacky, but it's probably fine as it is. So let's say that the water packager will be over here, again off this edge. So we should probably have it line up with other things on the grid just vaguely to be satisfying. So I guess we can have it here. Although this might end up encroaching a bit on the copper in case we need to like build that out, but it's probably gonna be fine. So let's put in a truck stop and please snap to the blueprint I want you to snap to. There you go. Alright, so this truck stop will eventually have the water on it. And then out back, we run the foundations around so that it can be navigated. And then we need our trains. So if I'm looking over at what I did for the iron, it's actually going to be different. So actually, we need a floor tile, and we need to snap it around here-ish. Does that line up? Alright, so that is that floor tile, which I just realized doesn't line up. So take that down. Put the floor tile in the right spot. I need to organize my blueprints at some point. I have a lot of them. Alright, so that lines up. So I can put... Yes, I believe you can, and I should do that. Alright, so then that is the output up there. So it can output into the truck stop. The input is, I think, around this side or something. Oh, I messed up. That's just the wrong blueprint. That's just entirely the wrong blueprint. I want the water packager blueprint, obviously. Alright. So that is the input side, which I think we need to be like there because it's inputting random stuff at ground level. So that's the output up there, which needs to feed into these truck stops, which is going to be a little bit complicated, but not very. So yeah, I think you can. So let's... Yes, alright. I believe you can also, like, give blueprints special custom appearances. But I don't know. Let's just get this sorted first. so we have a splitter. We have our inputs, which I guess can be Mark IV. Alright, so then those come up there. I think that will be easier if it comes up even higher than that. So if that goes all the way up there, then that can go all the way up there. And now we just need to hook the output into this. Which I believe that snapped. Alright, cool. Now we need to do the hard part. So first we need to get canisters over there in the first place. Which is going to mean importing them in a truck stop, which I should also put in the blueprints hotbar. So we have a truck stop, which can import canisters. And then we'll have to bring the water in via train. So let's bring that foundation along there, so I can walk up to this. Alright, so this can be the output that we use. And this area back here isn't a part of the city. There's not going to be anything over here. So that can just feed in directly there. And now we have this spot, which I guess we could make look better by, because now we're not in the blueprint editor, so I can put a wall hole in here now. And feed that into there. And now I need to get out somehow. Alright. So we feed the water into that. And we summon the canisters, and then this will all work. So let's get the canisters in first, which is going to require an equipment workshop to make a factory cart. Although actually this, I don't know, this is short enough that factory carts might be good enough. And we're using this one and this one. Alright, let's make this walkable. Oh, almost fell off. Alright, so now we can drive around here. And it's just from here to there, which is really incredibly short. So let's plop down on the factory cart. Start recording. Why does it do this every so often? Delete that. Okay. Not ideal driving. But it's fine. We load there, we come around. And we make it back. Easy peasy. Okay, now we need to check for extraneous stops, like this one. And these two. Delete that. Delete that. Alright, now we come back here. We save this as canisters to water. And enable autopilot. And off you go. Set this to unload. And now we should have that factory cart bringing canisters over here. The only thing left is to bring the water in via train. Now, if I were to bring water in via train, where would I get it from? Probably over here. Maybe up there. So yeah, somewhere over here does make sense for that. Let's get a nice convenient spot for our train. Do I have a train set up here? Yes, train station. Alright, so if I set this up on the far end there, and hopefully it'll be able to loop around. I might make this just like a two-way thing. I'm not sure if having the full loop is even like a good idea. I still haven't entirely worked out precisely how I want my train network to function. Like, I've done a lot more thinking about the stuff inside the city than outside of it. Oh wait, no, these are not freight platforms. These need to be fluid freight platforms because we're bringing in fluids. So that goes there, that goes there. No, don't face opposite directions. That makes it a lot harder to work with. Alright, so this will be more water than we can realistically use. Way more water than we can realistically use. But that's probably fine. So let's bring this to a good water source. Like, we could go that way to the ocean, but that would involve passing, like, past the rest of the factory. So I think going that way to the ocean will be easier. Let's build out a sky bridge. And then come back for the railways later. Probably when we run out of iron plates and need to wait on those to come through the dimensional storage. This just comes along. Alright, yeah, it's really not that far. The map looks a lot bigger than it is, especially when you're sky bridging. I just kind of need to get around this plateau type thing so that I can beeline for the ocean. Alright. Yep. Pretty much the ocean is right there. I actually don't know. This is probably way more than enough height for the trains to pass without problem. I don't know exactly how tall they are, but they're not that tall. Alright, so now we are here. And there's a poison pillar inconveniently close. Let's get rid of that. And so now the question becomes, do we stay at a significant altitude and just pump the water up? Or do we have this track go down and have the train be slower because it's going uphill half the time? I think we'll probably just stay at altitude. Alright, our foundations are running out. So let's start making some railways. Which I guess we will start at this end and work backwards. I know there's like a way of making good, long, very straight railways, but I don't know what it is. Mine tend to wobble a bit. Alright. Keep on dragging this railway along. So the upsides of having two-way rails everywhere are basically it's more expandable. Like I can attach some tracks onto other tracks. Like if I have to go out this way for, I don't know, sulfur theoretically later, I could have the sulfur train and the water train run along the same track most of the ways. And that works better if it's two ways because it means that they're not going to get things running either direction and get stuck. The advantage of one-way tracks is that it is so much simpler to set up. You just have to put an engine on both sides of the train and then it works. And I think we'll probably go two ways. I don't know. This isn't really the train building episode. This is we'll worry about our train network later when I have time to think about it. For now, we're just going to go one way, get it done, and then we can upgrade it later if necessary. So this just comes along. We are very close. And then we'll have to turn around and finish this, obviously. Alright. And then this just snaps onto that. And the railway partially finished. Let's power it so that when we do get finished, then we can use it immediately. So this will be water supplier. And we are also going to need to build out a proper power plant eventually. It's not super urgent because most of the machines are off, but we will need to do it eventually. Also, I need to find you hide path nodes and get out. Alright, so this is backed up. Did I ever power this on? I don't think I did. It doesn't really matter to have it powered on or not. So we need to grab iron plates and probably some more concrete as well. Which soon I will have on the city. The reason I'm not doing it is because I want to make those off of ingots with the pure ingot recipes. So it's sort of a chicken and egg problem. Where's my concrete? Grab another couple stacks of that. And I believe the plates are here. Yes, grab a couple stacks of that. Up we go. Alright, almost there. Now we just have to walk along this for a bit. Alright. It's a bit of a journey. I wish it were shorter, but it is a bit long. So, let's see. I guess I can think aloud for the trains. So, in a previous world where I very heavily used trains, I had everything on one giant loop, and it branched on and off of the loop depending on when it was needed. And that loop covered like a huge portion of the map and took forever to build, but was very cool to have. The other thing I could do is I could have all of the trains run separately from each other, like I'm doing so far with that iron train down there, which obviously has nothing to do with this water train here. And that makes more sense for this, since I'm doing it with since I'm doing this purely for raw resources, whereas the other one, there was like assorted stuff on the trains. So I think we'll probably have our trains be separate. Although, I don't know, that sort of defeats the point of having trains, right? I think the fact that trains can cross over is like the cool thing about them. So yeah, I think we'll probably build some sort of giant loop eventually. And by eventually, probably soon-ish. I want to have railway signals for that, which means computers. This is close enough to the ocean. So let's put down a floor tile. And a train station. So I guess we have that like that. And right, I don't have fluid freight platforms in the thing, in the hotbar. I don't normally use them. Alright, so we have to make this a bit more spacious to fit the fluid freight platforms. 2, 3. And then we attach this railway to that railway. And then not only will we have a train track, but we will also have power at this station, because stations carry power. Alright. So that is that. Now we come back here. We call this water supplier or something. No, this is water source. Alright, now we need to just get the water from up here to down there. Alright, this is where the power connection is on this side. Let's build out some foundations. I'm using the wrong one here, but that's fine. Alright, so we get the power line out. We need... I believe we are going to need fluid... what are they called? Fluid buffers for these, because of how trains work with fluids. So let's have a couple of those. No, why would it do that? I don't want it to do that. May as well go in the bottom entrance. Alright. So that is that. Now we need to get all the way down there and feed these fluid buffers, which is going to be a bit of a thing. So we're going to need walls, because we need to run the pipes along them. Do I have walls on any of these? No. Alright, and I need a ladder as well, obviously. That's what I should build first. Let's get a ladder going down. So this will take me down to the water. And then I'll just have to get the power down there and the water up. And then probably an unhealthy amount of pumps. We've come down, like, directly on top of a waterfall. That's not really what I intended. Alright, so that is where we come down. We need to climb up here and bring the ladder down. So we climb all the way up. We get the wall. And we get the wall. And we bring the wall down. Alright, so that is that. Now we need to get power down here. Although actually let's get some water extractors in first. One, two, three. 360, 480, 600. This will be more water than I can ever use, but may as well. At least more water than I can ever use in the short term, I should clarify. In the long term, this is not that much water. But for like the packaging and stuff, for the packaging, this is going to be more than enough. It's going to be enough that we could even double it if we wanted to. So we get those onto there. Right. This is the fun part where we have to like split this among the two. And if we do it wrong, it causes all sorts of problems. So let's do that. And I don't know, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Like whether it's gonna be not enough water or not. We can just bring more water. We're pretty close to unlocking Mark II, whatchamacallit, Mark II pipes anyways. And the pumps on this are going to be kind of brutal, but this is the wrong side of the thing, isn't it? Alright, so if we bring that as far up as it'll go, and we bring that as far up as it'll go, we're going to have to swap these through the wall at some point. Let's climb up the ladder. Yes, this is why it's annoying that I'm right on the waterfall. So let's get a wall hole and a wall hole. And connect those through to there. We come around on this side. And continue going up. And we're almost there. And then we just have to do the pumps, which are going to use so much power. Alright, well, that works pretty well, I guess. Alright, so that is that. Now we need to go back down here. And actually, while we're here, we should bring power down and set that up so that they can actually produce water. So we have that. We have a power tower. Why is there radiation? Alright, let's put a power tower up here first. Seriously, why is there radiation just like randomly up there? Could you not? Alright, so then we can bring that down to there. And then we can drop down and power on all of these generators. Alright, on, and on, and on. And you get power, and we'll put in another power pole just because we can. Now, did I not hook this up to the actual thing? I think I must have not. I must have not hooked it up to the actual water. To the actual power grid at some point. But for now, we need to start getting this water up. So let's start down here. And then you get to go there, and you get to go there. And there, and there. And there, and there. I really need to have power lines on, like, all of my hotbars. It's very silly that I don't. Alright, so I do need to power these on at some point. Obviously nothing is connected right now, but... Do I not have... Did I not ever buy the wall outlets? I must not have. Oh well. Let's just continue hooking things up. And then we are going to have to get up like halfway and probably just have a foundation like up there somewhere where we can stand. How about there? Because why not? Please let me get up. So I can stand on this foundation and then figure out where to go from there. Alright, so those are all hooked up. And I can get out here. Bring that power pole up onto this foundation so it's nice and close. And we continue bringing the pumps up. This would be so much easier if I had Mark II pumps. How much power do these use? Because this might be very expensive. Alright, it doesn't say there. Does it say in here? Alright, 4 megawatts, that's not that much. Okay. And it's not nothing, but it's not that bad. So let's get another foundation up there for us to stand on. And up we go. And jump around the pipeline pumps, which are in the way of the ladder now. Power up here. We see pipeline pumps go there, and it's be even easier if I can stand here and look. And there. This is a very awkward spot for that to be a problem. But we can fit that in there. And see, that snaps there, but I don't think that'll actually work. Like, I think the water will get right up to it and then stop. And then we'll be in trouble. Alright, so now let's get foundation there. Climb up the old ladder. We are almost there. Bring that up. Now this has to loop around here so that we can see. And then that goes there, and that goes there. Those two get powered on, and surely that'll be enough. To get around to this side to actually get up. Alright, I think that should be enough. Alright, so yeah, I need to hook that up to that. And then all of that should start. And we will see if we get water in here. Well, we'll eventually see. It'll take a while. In the meantime, I think we might technically need, like... No, it's probably fine. So we need an electric locomotive there. We need... fluid freights, which I believe this just, the regular freight car just works for both. And then we have another locomotive on the back facing the other way. We'll call this water source 600, just to note that that's how much it has. And now we get to see where, if anywhere, the water is getting stuck along this gigantic line of pumps. And I guess I can set this timetable up. So add those both in, turn it on. And it can start going back and forth. In the meantime, water is indeed showing up. You love to see it. Alright, and obviously it's only going to show up for the first two. And that should be a lot of storage. So it should be about 600. It should be pretty much 600 a minute, unless the whole dividing it evenly amongst unless the division from the water extractors doesn't work properly, which, let's be real, it probably won't. It'll at least be somewhere in the realm of 480 to 600. Somewhere in that realm, which is decent. It's definitely at least 480. It might be short of that. I don't know. So let's head back to the base. Oh, long walks along railways. How fun. Alright, do not get hit by a train. That would be bad. And we'll see when that makes its next trip back, it should have fluid with it, unless I've configured the stations wrong, which would suck because then I'd have to run all the way back there and all the way back here. Let's see here. Set these to unload. And Then we just need to set this up. So let's get some foundations. Good amount of space. And industrial fluid buffer there. Industrial fluid buffer there. Alright, so that should be water all set up, and we can do similar things to this for, you know, oil and all the rest of the stuff. But for now, we are just going to hook all of those together to make absolutely certain that we get 300 water a minute. And then we get it up there, down into that. And then we just have to find the entrance to this and power it on. Right, where is the front door? It looks like there isn't one. There is a door up on the second level, I believe, somewhere. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna hop in through the canister belt, I guess. Alright, where's the power poles? There's one. So I can take that. And, alright, actually, how do I escape here? Am I just stuck forever? I think I might just be stuck. Let's dismantle the wall and get out. Hook this up to anything with power, like that. And make that a door, so that I can actually enter the factory. Alright, I see some water. For some reason, this one is full of water, but that one isn't. Is this... Okay, well, I somehow messed up which... Oh, I guess because it's a two-way... Since it's a one-way train, I guess... Yeah, that makes sense. They're not in the same order going both ways. So I just need to get another fluid buffer. Junction. And there we go. Now it's all sorted. And we are now producing packaged water. So, the next thing we need is to set up the canister return. So this is where the canisters are coming from. And I want to recycle the canisters because it's way more efficient that way. So, I think the way I do that is the other things which have canister byproducts, we'll drop them into this truck station, which will then feed them back into that truck station, and it should be fine. So let's get a floor hole there. And have that be as fast as possible. So then that goes down there. And then we have a floor hole here for the input. And that can also be very quick. And then we just have to drop along underneath the factory and hook those two up. which is going to involve a ladder down so I can see what I'm doing and stay there stably for a little bit. Alright, so we take that. We send it over there. Actually, I can't see the far one once I've already put the one on the near one. So we have that in. We have that in. We have the belt between them. And that should be that. So now any canisters... Any canisters which we use in ingot production, for example, will be deposited back into the system here. And then we won't actually need to be constantly making new canisters, because we'll have a good reserve. Actually, come to think of it, what I want some storage down there. Like, just like a couple of industrial storage containers so that we don't have to have it on and off and on and off every time we construct a new factory which needs them. How tall? Alright, this isn't far down enough. Let's go a little bit further. Alright, so we get this fun little region underneath the city where we can basically just use this space. So let's have, like, I don't know, 3 of them will probably be more than enough. So let's split between them and then merge them up on the other side. Alright, so then that can come down here. And not quite make it. Alright, so then you can come down here and go like this way. That gives it more time to curve around. Like that. And then in. Alright, then we come around here. And we just merge them up on this side. Let's go like there, there, and there. Alright. Now this needs to get up there to meet that one, which is above, like, the factory, so... Alright, so they are too close, but not quite on an angle. So if I have that facing like that, then that works. Alright. So this will allow us to build up a sizable buffer of canisters so that we will only need to run this every so often when that gets low from adding new factories which have their own internal buffers and everything. Alright, and yeah, do see we are making packaged water. Now, that is feeding into the fuel input instead of the correct input. That's a whoopsies. Alright, so that goes up there. And then that feeds into it. Alright, so now we have a lot of packaged water. And this is currently slow. It will accelerate once we have the canister return system, which means we need to actually make ingot processing. So let's head down to the blueprint maker and make some blueprints. Alright, so let's get something small in our hand so that we don't have to worry about that. And load up a box shell. So, we need refineries. And how much is this going to be? Pure iron ingot. 20 water, 35 iron. So probably a single unpacker will be able to handle the entire thing. So let's get an input wall in. And we can have iron ore and packaged water. Wait, this needs to be on... The inputs need to be on the second floor. Alright. We will go up there for that then. And we also need outputs on the second floor as well. And yeah, this... There isn't really a second floor in this blueprint. It doesn't quite work that way. So let's have the conveyor walls in. And I don't know, I guess we can have the floor in and just have floor holes through it when necessary. So we have iron ore, packaged water in, and we have iron ingots and empty canisters out. So let's get some floor holes in here. And probably not going to be able to fit 3 refineries in, but I can probably fit 2. So it's 35, 90, 125. So yeah, we barely need Mark III if we're fitting... No, if we're only fitting 2 in... I don't know. I'll have to actually see how many I can fit in. And we're actually trying to be efficient with space. So we can get 1, 2... Alright. We can fit 3 in pretty smoothly. And then, so we can set all of these to pure iron ingots. So that only has solid outputs, which is very convenient. So we can just merge these up and then send them up to the second quote-unquote floor, which is really more of half a floor. And if that is 3, then it's 65 times 3, which is 195. So yes. Mark III belts. Don't do that. Stop it. Let's just have all of these Mark III belts. Alright, so that is the output. And then for the inputs here, we need both fluids and physical. So the inputs are over there, so we're gonna have to bring the iron down there. And then split it off like that. Now, if possible, I think it'll be easier to fit... It'll be easier to fit the fluid unpackaging up there, I think. And it'll also be right by the output as well. I think it needs a single machine anyway, so it should be fine. So let's run this belt along. And then put in Mark II belts here because they require 65 items per minute, very frustratingly. Alright, so that's the solid input. The fluid input is going to be harder. So we get a floor hole there. We can bring that down to there. And then across to there. And now, is this going to be steep enough to fit the pipeline junctions in? Why will it not? Alright, when it's going vertical like that, it doesn't give you the snap lines, but it does work. And it's really the only way you're going to get it sharp enough to function. Alright, so there is some clipping there, but that's fine. Alright, put that wall in. Are all of these configured? Yes. Alright, let's... So then the next thing we need to do is get these back up to the second floor. Gosh, it is hard to move around down here. Alright. Oh, I already did that. Good job, me. So that's the iron ingot going up to the second floor there. We have the water there. And the iron ore there. So now we need to get out. Get up here. And if we can fit a packager in this little gap, that would be excellent. We can't. Can we fit it over here? We can't. Alright. Then what we need is to move... We need to compress this as far up to the back wall as possible then. So currently we had a fair amount of space on this back side. Yeah, so we need to squeeze this in like all the way that it'll go. So if we squeeze the mergers all the way back there, that buys us a ton of space. Like that. And like that. That's where the mergers go. Now we take the refineries out and move them back here as well. We should take these floating conveyor belts out. Those are in the way. Alright, that is absolutely as far as they'll go. And there should be just barely enough space to squeeze in these belts. Wait, these need to be Mark II, right? Are those Mark II? Yeah, those look like Mark IIs. Alright, so then those. And then we put the floor hole up there. Alright, so that is that side of it done. And we sneak around here. And we need to fix this side, which honestly you can just do like this. And then feed those belts in as well. And now we have significantly more space on this side on the top floor. We can get out our door and head up here. Hopefully that'll be enough room for a packager. And the answer to that question is still no. Okay, that's annoying. I could, I guess, how much is this? 20 water, so it's literally one packager is needed. Alright, so I need to fit literally one packager in, and it doesn't seem like it's going to work. It's so frustrating. And there's no way I'm going to be able to like move the refineries up and fit the packager under them because they're already very tall. Yeah, they're literally like perfectly spaced. Can I fit the packager up here? No, but maybe? Alright, let's try taking this ceiling out. And moving that there. So can this sit on that? No. What if I made this ever so slightly higher? Okay, the packager is just really tall itself. Okay. That would have been so clever if it worked. Let's take all that down. Put that back in. And if we can't fit a packager in here, I guess we can just have that be an external thing. I guess we can just have like a little platform outside with a packager on it, and that would fit. Or I could crank this down to 2 refineries. I guess that's probably the best decision. Let's just make this 2 refineries, and it'll be a bit less space efficient, but now we have more than enough room for a packager. Alright, so then the packager goes in there. We need to take those out because they're not relevant. Alright, so that's the ore, and it goes down and into the thing. This is the the packaged water, which needs to come around here through this little gap that. And around it into the packager. No, not heavy oil. Packaged water. Down at 40 a minute. Because we only have 2 refineries now. And then we take the water. And we just put that into the floor hole where it should just work. And then we take... Now we just need to get all of these working properly. So I think this needs to come out further to give space here for those. And for the same reason, I need to take that out. Alright, so that runs in like that. Then the packaged water can come like there. And then like there. And then this is the output, which is going to be 130, I think. Which means it barely needs to be Mark IIIs. And it needs to come... Probably up and over would be easier. So let's take that out and just build it higher. Yeah, and then it can drop down into that as the final output. Alright, I just need to actually hook this belt up. So it's, what, 70 iron ore, 20 water for 130. Alright, so 70 iron ore, 40 water for 130 iron ingots and 40 canisters. So this is pure ingots, and it is 70 iron ore, 40 water to 130 iron ingots and 40 canisters. So we save the blueprint and we clear it. And now we can actually start constructing it. So let's get up to the factory. And we're going to have to head back to probably back here would be a reasonable spot for it. Actually, it might make sense for it to be closer to the iron side of things. Is this even space for a full? Yes, this is space for a full thing. So let's get that in. And now we need to put these all in as well. Alright, so that should be enough to get all the floor tiles in. Please. Alright, that snaps there. This snaps there, if it can line up properly. That snaps there. Alright, no, this one was wrong. So take that one out. Put in there. Now we have to hook these all around the edges. And extend the road out that way. Alright, so this is going to be the location of our ingots production. So we need a truck stop. And so this brings in ore and packaged water. This one exports ingots and empty canisters. And we might need a third one just for more exporting, but probably not. Alright, so now we go into blueprints. We need to grab our concrete, of course. We used a ton of it. So yes, at some point I'm going to upgrade my dimensional storage. Probably sometime soon even. Because even just like another stack of dimensional storage would, I think, mean I would be able to do all of that in one go without having to stop to grab stuff. So let's head back here. Alright, now the inputs are there. And we have to make sure we get everything into the right one. So the inputs are the left two, the outputs are the right two. And it doesn't really matter right away which one we hook the truck stops up to. We just have to make sure to drive the what's it called? The factory carts properly. So let's get a conveyor lift and one. That's one hooked up. Then we get a conveyor lift. Oh, and these are too tall, but it doesn't really make a huge difference as long as they're not so tall that they can't slope down. That's two, and then we have these outputs hooked up. Like that, and like that. And we go there. And that's too long apparently, so let's get it started and then over. Alright, now we hook power and then drive all the carts everywhere. Where is an available power pole? You look like an available power pole to me. And let's get some extra power poles in various locations so that we don't have to constantly be running out. That hooks up to that. That hooks up to that. This comes in here. And I didn't do this in the blueprint. Whoops. Well, I'll do it now. I believe there are literally 3 machines that need to be hooked up anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Just 2 refineries and an unpackager. We'll have to update the blueprint, but that should be fine. Alright. So, this is iron ore, and it goes down into this, which is this one. Alright, so we are going to need another 2 factory carts, which means we need an equipment workshop. And let's build 2 of these. And take the equipment workshop down. Alright, so this is the iron one. Start recording. Load cargo. We can fix it to the right truck stop configuration later. Now we drive this along to the street and up the road and around and in and around some more and onto the road and spin out. Don't do that. We're gonna have to fix that. And then spin out again. They love spinning out for some reason. And finish. Alright. So let's run along the path and fix all of these because it'll break everything if they exist. Alright, this is a spin out. Let's get rid of those. So now it just goes from there directly to there. That's a spin out, which we'll handle later on the way back. So it stops properly there, it comes around, stops improperly there. Then it comes along, and it spins out here. Get rid of that, get rid of that, and we are left with from there to there to there, which is fine. And then we come all the way back, and we are good to go. So we save this as iron ore to ingots. We save it, enable autopilot, and we leave, and off it goes. Alright, now we head around to this one, which is the canisters. So, we start recording. We load there. We're gonna have to configure the trucks. Wait. I've made a mistake. So this is all being saved to that, which is a problem because I didn't hide that one. So now it's considering all of these part of it, which is not good. So we need to wait for that to come back and drop off its stuff before I close this. We're gonna have to wait for it to come all the way back over here because otherwise I do not know which is which. This is somewhat annoying that factory carts do this. Alright, are you the one or are you going somewhere else? You are the one, yes. Alright, so hop in you. And hide path nodes, and done. You also have to set this to unload, of course. Alright, now we can do this. So we start recording. We drive along, we have that happen. We delete that. Start recording. We drive along. Works this time. And we spin out, but only sort of. And continue to drive along here. Try to keep a healthy... Wait, I'm not even going that way. Duh. This is going to canisters. Or water, specifically. So this comes along to... I should have thought about this first. I believe that is the water. Alright, this is fine. You can load cargo here. Drive around here. Wait, we can actually get out midway and check, right? Yes, that's water. We're going to need to do a lot of fixing the route here. Alright, so then this comes along. And we have to go in through here. And around. And then stop. Alright, so now we run along the path and fix everything. So that needs to go away. And all of this needs to go away. So it'll go from there directly to there, which is fine. And then it comes along here. And this waiting node is definitely wrong. So it goes in here. That waiting node is wrong. It's probably best to get rid of this one as well. So get rid of all of those. Then it'll come along here and then curve sharply to this, which is probably fine. And then it comes around, doesn't need to stop again. And then it comes out, and we should be fine from there, assuming there are no more false stops. Like this one, for example. Don't want that. And here we are. Save path to water for ingots. Enable autopilot. Hide path nodes. And off you go. Please go. Genuinely, I don't understand what it takes to get these guys to start on their paths. Like, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Alright, it's off. Set that to unload. Is this set to unload? It is, but hasn't received anything yet. We'll have to see if those guys are capable of keeping up. They might not be. The iron is relatively high throughput, and the water is a bit of a journey. So we'll have to see how that works out. Alright. Iron is showing up. It might just be moving in fast enough. That's probably not the first deposit of iron into this. It's probably just moving fast enough and filling buffers. Alright. So the canisters have a bit of a journey, which means that they might need a second cart. The iron is clocked at 59 a minute, which is not enough. I believe we need 70. So let's get a second thing out for that. We can use this empty space. Yeah, let's just get 2 more factory carts so that they can each have 2 carts on them. And this is going to be upgraded to a tractor or even a full truck pretty soon, I think, once I have like the capacity to do that. Load that up. Tell it to do water for ingots. Oh. And enable autopilot. Load this one up. Tell it to do iron for ingots. And enable autopilot. Now we just need to get you going. Off you go. And you have just teleported to there for some reason. And now you're blue. Alright, I guess whatever pathfinding thing it uses, it's figured itself out. Okay, and then finally, we need to take... Why are both of these stationary? They shouldn't both be stationary. Is this wrong? Ah, I set it to package water, not unpackaged water. Obviously. Alright, more problems for that to fix. So we're gonna have to fix a couple bugs in this blueprint. So we need to hook up the power and set up the water packaging better. But it should work. And we are getting canisters out. So the canisters are going into this. So let's get another 2 factory carts. Alright, so the canisters are going into this, and then I need to take them out down this way and into this. So this is where the canisters come in from the factory. This should be set to unload and take canisters in from other factories. So it's this one is the near one. So we come down this come down this road, go in there. We need to make this road here. This is a... No, that's not a main road. That's... Alright, something has gone weird here. Wait. Yes, it is a main road. That's just different because it is different. Alright. So that's that main road. And it comes out to that intersection. And we're loading it into this one, the near one, down this alley. Okay. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm coming from. So let's set down the factory cart. And we can start recording. I just done that again. Delete that. Start recording. Load from there. Head this way. Spin out. Almost save it. And then spin out again the other direction. And then we drive down here. Sort of a back street. And we come around down this way. And we spin out again. And we unload into there. Then we come out this way. Constantly almost spin out. I need to learn how to not spin out. Also need to be careful not to drive off the edge of a cliff. Alright, drive along this way. And I believe it's in here. Huh. Where'd my path go? Was I not recording that whole time? I could have sworn I was. Alright, well apparently I'm crazy. So we start there. We almost get hit. We almost spin out. We drive along this way. And we come down here. We unload the cargo. We come around. We continue coming around. Spin out again. Now we just need to close the loop. It should be down this way. Spin out again. And spin out again right by the finish line, but then finish. Alright. Now we need to fix all of the accidents and near accidents we had, like this one. So go from there to there. That one's probably fine. Come along this way. Down through here. And around. And we didn't hit that accidentally. That one's facing a funny direction. Let's get rid of it. And then around and don't stop there. That's for something else. And around. And we have to get rid of these. And then we're good. Alright, so we save that as... What is this? Ingot canister return. Save that. Hide it. Enable autopilot. And off you go. I said off you go. Alright. So now we have that. Should be returning those canisters. And then everything will work. And we'll have a supply of iron ingots. Cool. Already have a bunch of stacks. Is this running at 100%? Packagers at 99. This one is at 100. This one is at 64 because of a lack of water. There shouldn't be a lack of water. We're using literally 20. We're using literally a total of 40 a minute. There should be more than enough water. Are you... You should be going at 99%. Is it just a pipes filling up thing? I'm going to assume that it's just a pipes filling up thing, and we'll come back and revisit that later. For now, though, it seems like this is working. Should be depositing the canisters back. And let's head over here to investigate and make sure. Yeah, I guess it's going to be hard to tell, but in theory, now that we're getting canisters back, all of these water-related things should have enough canisters to keep going. So I assume that this isn't going to be running at anywhere near 100% because we do not have the canisters. So as the canister factory produces more, then that problem should go away because we're never destroying any canisters, just backlogging them. So we have managed to finish our goal for the day, produce a decent number of iron ingots. Now we just need to do this for copper and caterium and limestone and probably some other stuff. We don't need to do it for coal because there's no water-based, more efficient coal recipe. But we will need to do it for all of those other things. And then at some point we need to make computers to like progress the tech tree. And we need to unlock all sorts of new stuff in the MAM and the hub. So let's see. High-speed connectors. We need quick wire and plastic for that. Okay, how about this? Can we do this? Production amplifier. So if we get production amplifier unlocked, then we could make our power shards more efficiently by slooping them. And that would just require 100 of the things that you get from this. Would all the rest of these also require large quantities of that? That requires 100, that requires 100. Alright, so we could automate that. We have manufacturers now. We could take some of our brand new iron ingots and convert them into pipes and wire, and then make SAM fluctuators. So let's get a blueprint for that at least, so that we will be able to do it. Alright, so we load up the box. And we need a manufacturer with only 3 inputs, fortunately. And we do not need 10 per minute. We absolutely do not need 10 per minute. So we will reduce this to whatever is more convenient ratio-wise. So let's see here. Wire. Iron wire is 22.5 a minute. Steel pipes. Right, they're called steel pipes even though you make them with iron. Steel pipes are 25 a minute for 100 iron ingots a minute. That is a lot. Let's honestly just... What if we just make that 1? So if we do 1 per minute, then that wouldn't be too terrible. Probably 2 per minute would be literally twice as good. So let's see about 2 per minute. We absolutely do not need high quantity of this. We just need some producing in the background. So we need 12 reanimated SAM. That's also a constructor recipe, right? Okay. So we could take in SAM, but we have our entire supply of SAM is being converted into reanimated SAM already. And I don't think there's any other use for it for that. No. And there's only 1 recipe for this, so yeah. We are just going to import the reanimated SAM. And we need wire and steel pipes. Let's get up to the 2nd floor here. And we get a wall. So one of these splits into 2 constructors. The other one just gets 1 constructor. Or no, the other one doesn't even need a constructor. So we have that. And I should have checked how much of each I needed first. That would have been smart. So I need 10 wire, 6 pipes. So both of those will easily fit within a single constructor. Alright, so you make iron pipes. And I need 6, which is 24 iron ingots, which is not that much. And I forget it was 12 or 10. I'm going to go with 10. Actually, I can see this from here, right? Yes, it's 10. Cool. So that'll take 29, 30-ish iron. And we just floor hole both of those down. And then we have the reanimated SAM, which is being imported as that, so we just bring it down. And then we go to the bottom floor. We hook everything up. Alright, so then that comes down there and loops into that. That comes down there. and loops into that. That comes down there and goes into there. And it is 30 iron, 12 reanimated SAM for 2 SAM fluctuators a minute. SAM fluctuator, 30 iron, 12 reanimated SAM, 2 SAM fluctuators. That's not how you spell fluctuators. There we go. Alright, so we save that blueprint. And now let's get it placed down. So we're going to need to bring SAM up onto the foundation, which should be simple. So up we go. Let's just find a convenient spot over here by this side. Alright, so this is a major street technically, so that goes down that way. It's 3 wide. And this is just about the edge of the city from this side, currently at least. So let's get a floor tile in, which I have on blueprints for easy finding them. I think we probably should have a street here as well. So that's something like that, at least. And then we place this down. Alright, so that does line up there. If you're just placed properly. Alright, and then we ring around this one. And we put a truck stop down, and that truck stop will bring in the SAM. Alright, so that is that. So we need to power the truck stop on. So first of all, get some wire over here. Like there. Like there. And then into that. And now this is the input for these, which I don't think there's any situation in which I'm going to need to... I'm never going to need this much SAM. Like, it's actually just impossible to ever use that much. Just a single belt might not be enough, but 2 certainly will. So just for the sake of clarity, let's not even bother with 2 truck stations here. Just take that down. So we have a single truck station here for SAM. And we need to bring the SAM into it, of course. So we need a ladder there, probably would be helpful. And we bring that down, and we just have to go and grab the SAM from over there and bring it into that. Alright, so the reanimated SAM is over here. we have a single constructor for it. How much are you making? Theoretically 30 a minute, but I believe you are not technically being max. Like, I don't think there's 120 SAM feeding into that, so we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, we put a splitter onto that. And we start belting this over there. Has to get a bit of a ways. Something like that ought to be enough at this level, and then we can just bring it up the rest of the way. Alright, so this belt comes along here. It's kind of weird to run long belts. It's not something I do often in this game anymore. Alright, so then that can come down to approximately ground level, and that goes in. So the reanimated SAM will make its way up there. And then we will get to see how much production of this we actually have eventually. For now, though, we need to put the factory in. And also, we need to, like, label these so that I can see what on earth is going on. With big signs, preferably. Which I don't know if I actually have at the moment, come to think of it. Alright, so this is plenty of iron ingots, and it's this one here. Alright, so let's find another empty tile like this one. Start putting down our floor tiles. Alright, that's one. And then we put these down to surround it. Like that. And like that. Alright, so then that goes there. We have one here. And we have one here. And we put that around the edges, and then we can put a truck stop in, and then have everything hook up. So yeah, there sure is a whole lot of driving carts around with this world, which is certainly interesting, different from what I've done before. So we need... Gosh, do we need a second truck stop, or is just one good? So it's iron and reanimated SAM in. Technically, SAM fluctuators might be used for something, but I think probably just one truck stop should be fine. And then we wait to put that down, I guess. So I guess we can bring in the resources now. So I have one factory cart. So I can run this. And we we start recording, and it does that again, as it always does for some reason. Start recording. Trigger that. Go around here. Trigger that. Then we just complete the loop. And then we will have reanimated Sam. Ooh, don't spin out. Don't spin out a second time. Really need to figure out how to get good at driving these so that I'm not constantly spinning out and wasting time. Alright, so we have that. Now we just need to correct any spin-outs, which I believe this is one. Although that might actually not be good. I might have broken it. So it goes around and back in. Alright, we will try it. Sam for fluctuators. Enable autopilot. And off you go. Alright. We'll see if it can make it back safely. It might get stuck on this corner or something. In the meantime, I should have enough iron plates coming through the dimensional storage to place this now. There we go. And let's see, this is the Sam Fluctuator one. Is it working? Is it making its way back? Yes, it is. Cool. And is it slowing down to a crawl for some reason? But it should successfully drop off some reanimated Sam here. Or just sit here forever? Huh? What the heck? I'm not sure what that was all about. Oh, it got confused because it's not powered, right? I'll fix that. Let's bring the powerful there and there. Alright, while we're thinking about power, I forgot to do that again. So let me just fix that real quick. Power these machines on as well, and I'm doing this stupidly. But those machines are all powered on. The factory cart is working properly, delivering its reanimated Sam. Alright, so next we need to set up the cart for iron, which we will need to craft because I forgot to do that so far. So let's get a factory cart. And oh, hang on. I need to get into you and hide path nodes so that they don't mess with this one. So you start recording. We do that thing, which is seems to just always happen first. Alright, then we loop around. We don't fall off the edge. That is very important. And then we go to the iron ingot supplier, which is, Jesus, this one maybe? No, not that. It's this far one over here is the iron ingots. Alright. Please stop spinning out every 5 seconds. I just need you to drive there. And then fix... Pretty sure there's a spin out at some point. It'd be weird if there wasn't. I also need to... Yeah, right here. Get rid of that. Then we come around here. Stop there. I don't know why we would pause there for 3 seconds. Or why we would drive directly through this region. So let's take that out. And this will be ingots for SAM fluctuators. Iron ingots for SAM fluctuators. Save that. Hide the path. Enable autopilot. Set that to unload. And it's doing something, I guess. It'll figure itself out eventually. Wait, did I... Wow, this is a very, very half-baked blueprint that I made here. Alright, let's fix this manually real quick. That to go there. Up to the 2nd floor. And we pop a wall hole in here. And done. Now we... Back outside, we put in the floor here, which I guess will be up there. Alright, and then we bring those up into that, and we run out of fuel. And then we go up. And we can put down a storage container there. Conveyor lift there, feeding into it. And right, we are missing SAM fluctuators. Fortunately, this is literally the factory that makes them. Or alternatively, we could just manually craft some. Let's manually craft some for the last time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just so that we can get this done a little bit quicker. Alright, that's that. Now we need... Is this filling up with iron ingots? That's filling up with reanimated SAM. We just need to figure out which one is which and attach them in. Iron ingots is left. Reanimated SAM is right. Alright, that's that. And we get the reanimated Sam in. Which, yeah, actually needs to be higher than that so that it can go over. So you can come up there. And that just goes down on default. And that should be good to go. Alright. That is SAM Fluctuators done. Which means we can now upgrade without a care in the world as long as we have the Mercer Spheres and or Summer Sloops for it. So it is 4:56, and so I think we're going to call the stream here. We have some blueprints to fix, but nothing too major. And we now have iron ingot production in the city, which means we can start going and doing all of the random stuff like plates and rods and stuff, which we might want a factory for. And also, more importantly, it means we are, I believe, only one step away from being able to set up a heavy modular frame factory. So one of the things constraining us was that we didn't have iron ingot production, which is what that factory needs. We still need to set up concrete. And I believe that's it. I believe the entire thing can be made from concrete and steel. So yeah, we are very, very close to completing heavy modular frames. And yeah, all around great progress. So yeah, I will see you guys on Monday. Same time, 2 to 5, playing Satisfactory.